Hi, this is CF1969. Well, my real name is Ken. Everybody knows me as that. You also probably know me. I'm the one who posted some of the Von Erich stuff, Headline News, Entertainment Tonight story on the death of Kerry Von Erich. This video is going to be a little different, a lot different than those ones. I'm not going to talk about my love affair with pro wrestling. It's not a love affair, just I love watching wrestling and all that. This video is more or less going to be about me. You may find it boring, you may not want to watch it, but this is a little bit about me and what I'm going through right now. Just over a year ago, in February 2009, I was diagnosed with panic disorder after seeing a therapist. If anybody, that's kind of what this video is for. If you find it and all that and watch it. I've watched a lot of videos about panic disorder and panic attacks and stuff like that, how to deal with them, what they are and all that. I've done a lot of research online about it and all that. So maybe this is going to help some people. It's kind of going to help me because I'm going to be able to talk about it. Like I say, February of 2009 is when I was diagnosed after seeing a therapist. Kind of a little history about it. 2009, as I look back now, and it's April 4th, 2010. 2009 was not a great year for me in some ways. Some ways it was fantastic and all that. But I was, like I say, I was diagnosed. I'm also one of those ones who rambles on, may go back, forth and all that, but that's whatever. Anyway, going to the panic attacks. It was shortly after, in January, my grandmother of 97 years old passed away of Alzheimer's disease. I served as a pallbearer and all that. It was a kind of very traumatic time for our family. Shortly after that is when my panic attacks started. I've also always been kind of a hypochondriac about my health and all that. Sadly, I am a smoker, so that doesn't help it much better either. I was 39 years old at the time. I'm 40 now. I started around, I think February it was, started feeling like upset stomach all the time, a little pain in my chest, a little raspy voice and all that. And of course, being a hypochondriac, I went to the computer and wanted to check it out and all that. And stupidly, I don't know why, again being a smoker probably, I typed in lung cancer. Started reading some of the symptoms, and the symptoms kind of sounded familiar and all that. So I started freaking out, thinking I had it and all that. I went upstairs to where my niece and all that were living. Started freaking out, crying, getting emotional, telling everybody I had cancer and all that. So the family came down, we talked and all that, said no, probably not that, it could be this, could be that and all that. But being a hypochondriac, you always think and go for the worst case scenario. I think we all do that, not just hypochondriacs. Maybe hypochondriacs do it a lot more. But I started thinking, of course, we always think of the worst case scenario and all that. We don't think of the positive things or something small or something like that, especially if we've never gone through it before. So that's why I kind of thought that. Went to the hospital and ended up going to the hospital and all that. Because I said I need to find out and all that, and I was gonna see my doctor, but it would take so long to get the test results back. So I ended up going to the hospital and spending all night in the hospital. Had the chest X-rays, heart test, blood test, urine test. They all came back negative. No, that's right, negative. The doctor said it's just acid reflux. Too much acid in the stomach coming up to the chest, and then some kind of escape out of your throat and all that. I could be wrong and all that. That's what caused just buildup of acid. So I finally went to go see my family doctor. He prescribed me some medication and all that. I started taking the medication. Well, that was I think on a Wednesday and all that. Tuesday or Wednesday, yeah, I was thinking it was a Wednesday. I went to the hospital. Well, on Friday I couldn't sleep. My mind was just racing and all that. Even though I got a clean bill of health, my mind was just racing and all that. I couldn't sleep all night. I in fact went upstairs and seen my nephew, who lives in the same block as me, and thought I was going crazy. I was losing my mind and all that. So I ended up going to work and all that. Started having really bad attacks there. Shakiness, heart racing really fast, like unbelievably fast. Sweating, weird thoughts in my head. Finally a friend of mine picked me up and all that, and took me home and took me to his house and all that, and we talked and all that, and he told me it was a midlife crisis I was going through, because my life had gone through so much changes. I had moved in, also in that time I had moved out on my own to my own apartment, even though my family lives on the same block. I had my own apartment. My hours at work were shifting around. I was working weekends and all that, different hours. The death of my grandmother and all that, so it was just all this, and a few other things and stuff like that, that I was just under pressure and all that. I've always been one to put a lot of pressure on myself and all that. So my brother picked me up and all that. We went out for dinner and all that. Didn't sleep much that night. A few days later I went, my sister in fact came into town and all that to help me, because I was having some very scary thoughts and all that. Went to the therapist through work, a company therapist, and told me that I had panic disorder. You have to have 4 symptoms to be diagnosed, and at that time I had over 12 to 13, I think it was, symptoms and all that. I'm very emotional. I was crying. I don't know, I lost count of how many times I cried. Shakiness, heart racing, insomnia and all that. Suggested I go to my family doctor and look at getting on some medication and all that. A few days later I did. He prescribed me Paxil medication and all that. 20 milligrams of Paxil. Now, whatever your personal feelings are about medication and all that, that's up to you and all that. But I was very scared. I was one of those ones who read all the signs, symptoms and side effects of this medication, not totally understanding it and all that. Finally I got the prescription. Like I said, I got the prescription and didn't get the medication. I think I had the prescription for a week or so, a couple weeks. And then I finally picked up the medication and all that. Had the medication for a while and all that again, until one night I just thought I had reached rock bottom. In that time I had also got agoraphobia, whatever that word is called, how you pronounce it. I was sleeping on the floor in my sister and brother-in-law's apartment. I slept on the floor and the couch in my brother's apartment, and my niece and nephew and her boyfriend in their apartment. Thank God my family lives all in the same apartment block and all that. Very emotional. Like I say, I lived by myself and all that, but being in my own apartment was very scary. And that's when I thought I had reached rock bottom and all that, and I had to get on the medication. So I finally went on the medication, half a tablet for a few days and all that, for 3 days, and then full tablet. But I did get some small side effects and all that. So I see my doctor, and he suggested I take another few more days. Anyway, I finally went on the medication for a couple months and all that. It helped me. It helped me focus my mind. At that time I also was reading some books that my therapist told me to get. And so I was reading books and again doing research online about that. One of the things I learned was diaphragmatic breathing. That helped me at times, to the point where I thought I could get off medication. So I decided to wean myself off the medication. It actually happened by accident. I left home for work on a Saturday morning and forgot to take my pill and all that, and I thought, well, I'll see how it goes throughout the day and all that, if I have any moments and all that. I didn't. So I thought, well, I think I can wean myself off the medication and all that, which I did. Excuse me, I'm just going to have a little drink. Which I did. And my life kind of pretty near returned to normal. Throughout, that was around, I think, the end of March of 2009. All that summer, had a few attacks. Well, at that point I wasn't calling them attacks, I was calling them moments. Because it wasn't full blown, I wasn't getting all the full symptoms and all that, a little bit of racing heart and all that. So that's why I kind of started calling them moments and all that. By the way, I'm going to kind of maybe stop this video in a few minutes because I've noticed that I'm getting at the time where YouTube usually allows you only about 10 minutes per video and all that, so it's coming up on 10 minutes. I got a little stopwatch here. So I'm going to kind of stop the video right now, and we'll continue in part 2 of my story and let you know a little bit more about my attack. So we'll see you in a few minutes. Please, if you feel free to check it out and all that, post any comments you want and all that, negative, positive, anything, your experiences and stuff like that. Please let me know. So we'll see you on the other side in part 2.